Hello, friends. It's Adam Gold. It's the Adam Gold Show. I have no idea why I did that. Oh, man, I'm still a little punchy from last night. Erik Cole, name on the Stanley Cup. All right, sir, let me just ask you this. What were your thoughts after the opening 10 minutes last night?
Yeah, I mean, I think I turned the game on and just real quickly went to go, do something around the house, and I came back to the TV. I was like,
Yeah.
Oh boy. I was like, this doesn't look good.
No.
Yeah, I think, just like everyone else, they were, really, shocked by the way the Devils came out. And I mean, they did what they had to do, an elimination game. And, they came in and, scored, took the crowd right out of it. And, it made the victory for the Hurricanes, in my opinion, just so much sweeter, with the way they hung in there and just continued to battle.
Erik Cole is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Here's the thing. Even though it was 3-0, Carolina had a couple of chances at the end of the first period. I legitimately still thought that Carolina was going to win the game. I said it. I put it out on social media. I said it to Walt Ruff, who works for the team. He's joined me as the guest in the first intermission on the radio. And I said, I still feel like the Canes are going to win the game. And the turnaround at the start of the second period, it's like everybody woke up. Like, oh, wait a second, the game started. Andrei Svechnikov was the only one going in the first period, to be honest. At least he played with that kind of energy. But once the first one went, you knew it was happening. I mean, I did. You could feel that it was going to happen. I just didn't think it would happen within the first 6 minutes of the period.
Yeah, I think, and that's just what's so great about playoff hockey is the momentum swings and the momentum changes that can happen so quickly. Like not even just like, through the course of a series, but like also, just from one period to the next, the momentum just all changes and it goes the other way. That's what makes it so much fun.
All right. Now you and I have talked about Andrei Svechnikov. When we spoke, 2 weeks ago, we were wondering where he was. It looked like we reacquired him during the series. I mean, he played the type of game. Forget about the goals. And I said this after Game 4. The goals were great. I could explain the goals away in each situation as being the product of something that somebody else did. But Andre got back to playing the more physical, direct game, and lo and behold, the goals come.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's one of those things where, as a player, you pay attention kind of to the process a little bit more, but if you do that, before you know it, you're getting better results, right behind it. So it's he had a great series, and you hope that he just can continue to play that well for the whole spring.
Yeah, and it's likely, although, stranger things have happened, it's likely going to be Washington in the next round, so it'll be fun to see Andre going up against that team. We go back 7 years, and it was the team that knocked him out of the playoffs for a while. Erik Cole is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I have compared, when I talk about Sebastian Aho, I have compared him to gumbo in that you don't realize, you take a couple of bites, you don't realize all of a sudden, man, that's spicy. It's like the fourth bite when you go, okay, that's hot. I think Aho is sort of that sneaky hot player who just all of a sudden you realize, man, this guy is really good and is a complete player. But when he turns it on, when he goes to an 11, I mean, he can be an absolutely electric. I thought he was last night.
Yeah, I think he's definitely shown it his whole career, just how he can be such a quality playoff performer and, to your point, like such a complete player. He competes in all three zones. He's just really, really high hockey IQ. And, he's, in my opinion, like he's kind of, the engine that drives the bus when it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes.
When I compare him to a former player, and it's not that long ago, to me he's a lot like Nick Backstrom was when he was healthy with Washington, in that you just don't realize how good he is at times because he's not a flashy player, and he doesn't do like what McKinnon or McDavid does when they just take over games. I mean, we see that occasionally, but he's just not that kind of player. But he's just so complete. He's been winning faceoffs at an incredible rate in this series. He won 13 to 22 last night. He won like 65% in Game 4, and he's just so responsible that it's made. I think everybody that watches the team realizes how good he is. Even though we'd love to have a McKinnon. There's only a handful of those. They broke that mold. Let me ask you about the start for Kochetkov, which not awesome. But when your goaltender is fighting it, and you've been in this situation, how do you deal with that as a player? How do you kind of shield him?
It obviously wasn't the start that anyone wanted, but and it's not all on him, but it's up to everybody to help him settle in, and you're just going to do everything that you can, blocking shots, just playing a little harder defensively and everything, trying to make sure that you're getting him like into his groove, because once he's there, like we've all seen it, he's very, very effective, right. So, and he's such a good, player that, or good guy in the room that the guys are all, rooting for him and pulling for him to be successful.
So let me ask you about the handshake line real quick, because Erik Cole is joining us here. And I know you might not have the same relationship with a player like Brett Pesce that clearly the core guys on that team do. But I wanted a Pesce cam. I just wanted a camera focused solely on Brett Pesce for all those handshakes. Like, I know there were former teammates in there. Dougie Hamilton was there. Eric Haller was there. Steph Nason. I was actually surprised at some of the warmth shown Haller, which I was in some ways bewildered by. But the Pesce stuff hit me very differently, because I almost feel like a piece of him is still here.
Yeah, I think, that just goes with anything when it comes to, a former teammate and somebody that was, very well-liked in the room and, he was here for 9 seasons?
Yeah.
And let's face it, did he really want to end up having to go to New Jersey? Probably not.
No.
It's a business, and, that's just kind of how things go. So it's, I'm not surprised at all that, such a well-liked player, by his teammates was given some really warm embraces, in the handshake line, because obviously, that's one of the best parts about playoff hockey is, the handshake, congratulating the victors at the end of it.
All right, I know we got to let you go. I think it's your honor. Let me ask you this question about moving on from series to series. What are the players dealing with today? How do you reset, refocus? You don't even know who you're playing yet, and get ready for the next week.
Yeah, the biggest thing is rest, but active rest. You don't want to just sit around and do nothing. You just need to just active rest. Make sure that you're, plenty of rest, plenty of good nutrition, and you just, you're recharging the batteries. If anything's a little banged up, you're, living on a game ready or sleep it on kind of thing. And then you watch, I'm sure, that was always, my big thing was, you're always watching the other series, going on and paying attention to, try and pick up tendencies. You're always kind of doing your own little pre-scout.
Well, I'll be doing that tonight with the Capitals and the Canadiens on my television. I trust you will too. I thank you very much, Erik Cole. Always good to catch up. And if you need any resume help or anything like that, I'm here for you.
I think I'm going to be setting up a phone call here to talk with those folks soon. So wish me luck.
Always. You don't need luck. You just need to be you. That's my advice.
I'll see what I can do.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.